Well, I'd like to say peace to the Aussie or Australian woman that I'm posting this to. I saw your video, which was either shared or in response to mine. And you said that me and Gambler differed. Of course we would. We're from different seas. We we always differ, and I will always take the Arab side to the argument against the Greeks. And there has been hostility against the Greeks for 400 years with us. Now, that being said, theologically, is there anything in the difference? Some say there is. I don't. Um, you say, what is the difference between church fathers and desert fathers? Well, a great deal. St. Moses the Black, also called St. Moses the Strong, which is where some Afro-Israelis get the idea that Moses, the Moses of the Ten Commandments, was black, which is just silly because St. Moses of Skeet lived at least 2,000 years after uh, Moses of the Sinai. Skeet was a monastery in the desert, and the Greeks actually take the West uses John Cassian. John Cassian brought the teaching of the East to the West, and that's where you get things like Cloud of Unknowing happening about 200-300 years after he brought it to the West. Um, so it's not surprising that the Greeks used the Desert Fathers because they are important. Saint Isaac of Skeet is one. I used Saint Germanius and the lion to illustrate one also, where the lion, the actual animal, is called saint. It's called the Jordan. It's called, the river of life. So there are many different forms of orthodoxy, although you need to know that orthodoxy is like the Trinity. It's multiplicity and it's unity. It's many in one. If you look at the states of North America, if you look at the states of the United States of America, especially before 1865, they were very different, but they were united. It's almost like a confederacy instead of a government. It's a band of people saying we believe the same thing under the same charter, which would be, in our case, the Nicene Creed or eventually the Seventh Ecumenical Councils, which in many cases that happened. You can look no further than the case of the church in China or Mongolia or Japan. As long as they accept what we accept, then their saints are our saints. That's why we will not. People say, "Oh, well, after the year 400, when these heresies crept in, what about that?" Well, we're not going to inspire doubt. No, their saints are our saints. It doesn't matter who or what Saint Patrick was, or Saint Bridget, or any of these people. The Desert Fathers were people who taught a very mystical teaching of orthodoxy, and extremely mystical and monastic teaching, which is not incorrect at all. It's not incorrect. But through the eyes of the laity, it can become corrupted, and that's where we see things like toll houses with Seraphim Rose, of course, who made it very famous, and who was, well, I mean, he is said to be a saint already, but we'll see within the next 200-300 years whether he's a saint or not. That's how orthodoxy works. It doesn't work overnight. It's not like the Bishop of Rome, who is commonly called the Pope of Roman Catholicism. It doesn't happen just boom like that. No, we have to discover who is right and who is wrong. That's why in orthodoxy you could be taking a stance that's right, could be taking a stance that's wrong, which weighs very heavy upon us because us ourselves inside the Orthodox Church, not speaking to anybody outside the Orthodox Church, when we take a stance, it could mean the decision between heaven and hell. because we have to make the choice. It's us. It's what guides what does guide us. And then even those who stand against what was affirmed as truth still many times are said to be exonerated from it because they don't know what they're saying. They didn't, not that they don't know what they're saying, but in the language they put it, it's completely compatible with what we're saying. Again, this goes back to, as could be shown recently in the debate between me and Bilsy Bob and Gambler Bilsy Bob, the difference of, well, did morality come from God or man? We say, no, it's clearly from man. And he says, where's the one? He's trying to look for one morality. It's like, no, well, there's not. There's righteousness and wickedness. Morality can embrace both of those or none of those. You're a Lutheran minister. I mean, I have no place to say go to him because I'm not a Lutheran. I don't know if it's safe or dangerous to go to that man. I would say look up Archbishop Lazar on here. He's a Canadian. He's not even American like me. He's not a citizen of the United States of America. So don't think it's some type of nationalism. But you speak English, he speaks English. Please go to Archbishop Lazar at All Saints Monastery. And it's spelled out that way, All Saints Monastery, and just type it in and press it. You can look up Archbishop Lazar Paulo. I don't know exactly how to pronounce his name, but I pronounce it Paulo. On my videos, I will even be pleased to send you a video by him. Yeah, there is much confusion. But please know this. If you are seeking the truth, I don't care whether you're an atheist, a Hindu, a Buddhist, or a Christian. If you are seeking the truth will embrace you. The truth will set you free. Come to us. Run to your mother. Run to the hope. And we will embrace you. There's nothing that will, in our church, that will reject you. There's no legality or anything like that that will push you away. That's why I, early on in this channel of mine, I even embraced transgendered people to not be afraid. Because in perfect love there is no fear, and that's what St. Anthony said. And St. Anthony was certainly, I mean, he's considered primary of the Desert Fathers. But even at least he is considered one of the Desert Fathers. I mean, look at all of the writings of the Desert Fathers. But the Desert Fathers are different from the Church Fathers. The Desert Fathers are basically the root of Eastern monasticism, where the West went into Benedictine monasticism, where, yes, we do accept Saint Benedict as a true saint, but what eventually came out of that was not so wholesome and good, but deprived the monastics of the community and deprived the community of the monastics. Which, how can that be separated? How do you separate that out? It should never be separated. Man was made to live in community with other Christians. That's how the Eastern Orthodox have always seen it. The monks were never totally separate from the people. Let's say peace to you, and if you can't find that in your own country, be the light in your own country. Set up your own icon corner. And be the blessing that everything flows through for you. And remember the words of the Didache, which says, who am I to recite the Didache to you? You already know it. Let it not be what do unto others as you would like done unto you, but at least do not do unto others what you would not like have done unto you. And that's one of the beginning sentences. It's about I don't know, 4 sentences deep in decay, but it begins that way. And then look at it in that fashion. And that's how you view the world. It's the beauty of it. And that's what some people will not, and they cannot, and they refuse to grasp. But if you're asking, that's the beginning of all. Just ask. What did our Christ and Lord say? Ask, you shall receive. And that's where it begins. Just ask. And don't refuse the answers that are given you. Challenge them, but meditate upon them. Meditation is a true key. Peace to you. And whether you be in New Zealand or Australia or wherever you're at, peace.